now we should be good to go. I'm just going to let Facebook let you know that I've gone live before we get started tonight. Okay, I'm just going to try to share this. If you are watching live, let me know by dropping a comment below or give me a thumbs up. Let me know that everything is okay before we get started here, and just bear with me so I can make sure that everything's good before I get started. Hopefully you've had a good Sunday. Let me know what you were up to today. Did you do anything Christmassy, or did you maybe clean up your house? I don't know. Something less fun than Christmassy? I don't know. Okay. I think this is gonna be as good as it's going to get. Oh, just here we go. I found what I was looking for. Okay. I think I'm good to go. Get this keyboard out of the way. So, hope you are doing well and you enjoyed your weekend. Maybe you did something Christmassy and maybe you didn't. This weekend was busy for me. Yesterday I was trying to finish my Christmas shopping. I think I have two gifts left. So I did get a bunch checked off yesterday, but I still have 2 left. And so then I'll hopefully be done. Today, I don't even know. Oh, I mailed a bunch of Christmas cards, so that was a success. Another thing I can check off my list. So I hope that you are doing the same, that you're checking things off your list during this busy time. But I also hope that you are finding time for rest and just a chance to rejuvenate. So tonight I have a fun project to show you, a couple of different variations of how you can create your own Christmas tags for those gifts that may be wrapped, or that might be the next thing to do on your list. So I'm going to show you how to create some Christmas tags for those gifts. I am going to switch my screen around here in a second. Hi Janine, thanks for watching live. Working on kids class Xmas gifts. Oh yes, I can imagine that perhaps it's difficult to come up with new ideas for teacher gifts or class gifts, because it's something you always have to do every year. So I wouldn't even know how to begin with that. So hopefully you're being creative and maybe doing something in your craft room to come up with that. That would be fun if you could incorporate that. So I'm going to switch my screen around here. Okay, so let's start talking about the new catalog that's coming out in January. This is our mini January to June 2022 catalog. It is chock full of a lot of spring products, new products, some fun sweets. I can't show you the inside of the catalog until it goes live, but I want to let you know that I do have catalogs coming this week, and so they will be ready for distribution probably next weekend. So if you are interested in receiving one of these catalogs, let me know. Drop me a comment below. If you're watching on Facebook, drop me a comment below. If you're watching on YouTube, drop me, I don't know how that will work. Visit my website. You will find my newsletter sign up page, and that way I can get your information so I can send this out to you. So if you live in Canada and you don't already have a demonstrator, I would be happy to send you a catalog so that you are ready to go in January when this catalog launches. And along with that, I do have my classes for January, not scheduled, but they're planned. I just need to put them on the calendar, and then you will see all the details. So all of my events are located on my Stampin' Up! Website, which is jennascraftingstudio.stampinup.net, and you can also find the links to those classes on my website at jennascraftingstudio.com. Okay, so let's get started with some crafting. And I did forget to introduce myself. So if you are new to my Facebook page, My name is Jenna Moore. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in London, Ontario, Canada. And every Sunday at 7:30 I go live and I share with you projects I'm working on in my craft room, new product, new techniques. And so tonight I'm going to show you some Christmas tags. So you may or may not know how to make tags with the supplies that you might have on hand, or maybe you don't know that Stampin' Up! Has some products in our catalogs that you could purchase and make your own Christmas tags, which I personally really love doing. And to be honest, I try to make them as simple as possible, because if you're like me, you have, you know, a fair number of gifts to give away and you don't want to be spending all your time making Christmas tags near or close to Christmas. So I'm going to show you two different options for Christmas tags and show you a couple of designs that I've created. So two different ways we're going to create tags, and I'm actually pulling two different stamp sets. So these stamp sets are both available in our annual catalog. So there are Christmas stamp sets available in the annual catalog. And the reason I chose these were because they are super fun stamp sets. They are image and greeting stamp sets, which are great if you are doing Christmas projects, because it has everything that you need to create a project. And they also have coordinating punches. So I don't have the snowman one at my fingertips, but there is a snowman punch that punches out this snowman image here. And then we will be using with the Christmas tree, or I guess it's called the tree punch, which coordinates with Perfectly Plaid. So the punch is a great way to spruce up your projects without having to have the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine. So it's a great way if you're just getting started. Punches are a great way to go, especially a punch that coordinates with a stamp set. So we're going to be working with these two. And I'm going to show you two different ways to make tags. So these are new dies that came out in May. These are called the Taylormade Tag Dies, and they're featured in the annual catalog. Like I said, there are a bunch of different sizes and two different designs of these tags. The reason I really love these tags is that they have, let's see if I can get this close. They have a stitched design around all the tags, which are probably my favorite design element of any dies. I just love that stitched edge because it creates something a little bit extra for interest. And then there are also these, I don't know if you call them grommets. I'm not really sure what the correct term is, but to go around the holes here. The nice thing is these dies, as you can see, punch out the holes for you. So you don't even need an extra hole punch to create the holes in your tags. So one of the ones that I made with this set and using these Snowman Season stamps is this one here, and it features this fun snowman here and one of the stamps. And maybe you'll notice I was brave with this stamp, and this is very unlike me, but I actually took the one stamp and I cut it into two. Does that make you nervous? Let me know. This is the first time I think I've done that to a stamp, but I prefer having the two pieces and then fitting them together. So I don't know if this is a good recommendation or not, but in my opinion, you should not be afraid to cut your photopolymer stamps in half. So there's that one. I also made, this is one we're going to make together. So this is another one I made. These are the two different sort of the tops of the dies, one of each style. And this is the one I made using the Perfectly Plaid stamp set. So I'm going to show you how I made this one. We're going to do that. So you do need the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to use these dies. So if you do not have a die cutting machine, I do have an alternative way to make tags. Janine, you're afraid. I don't blame you, to be honest. That is really the first time I've ever cut a stamp. And you know what? I've not regretted doing that, strangely enough. So that's really the only stamp I've come across so far that I was perfectly happy to cut in half. And you know what? I can, because they're photopolymer, you can lay them down and line them up again as though you've never cut it. So that's why I would recommend it only with the photopolymer stamps, not the red rubber ones. So if you do not have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, we have punches that will actually do the tops of the tag for you with the hole. And I'm realizing now that I did not look up the name of this punch, so I'm going to show them to you in here. Punches. Okay, so there's a couple of options in the annual catalog. So the one I'm using tonight is called the Delightful Tag Topper. And then we also have this one, which is the Fancy Tag Topper. So these are two punches you could use to create tags. I'm just going to take a sip of water. So that if you don't have the die cutting machine, you can easily make tags. So I'm going to show you how I cut my paper so that it will fit this punch. There's actually 3 different notches, so 3 different sizes of tags that you can create. I believe they're 2 inches, 1.5, and 1 inch. So I like to cut my tags 2 inches because I feel like the wider they are, the more options I have for product to use with them. So to cut my tags down to a 2-inch size for tags, what I like to do is cut at the 4-inch mark. And because this is 8.5 inches across, I can get 2 strips of the 4-inch. And then I cut them this way at 2 inches. And that gives me 10 tags for 1 piece of cardstock, which is pretty good bang for your buck, I think. So I'll just show you. So I get 5 from each strip of the 4 inches. Put that trimmer aside. I like to use white cardstock for the tags because it just makes it easy. You can stamp right on it and, you know, no fuss, no muss. Okay, so let's get these out of the way. So you're going to take your Delightful Tag Topper. You're going to stick in your 2-inch strip of cardstock and you're going to punch. And then it makes that fun little top for you with the hole for your stringer ribbon. So this is a super fun, simple way to make tags. So either option will work depending on what supplies that you have in your craft stash. Either you have a die cutting machine or you need the punch. So what I'm going to show you, actually we'll start with this one, the one that I've punched out. And I'm going to use the Snowman Season stamp set. Oh, and I've already mounted it. So for this one, I'm using the snowman that is sort of catching snow on its face with a little tree. And as you can see, this stamp is well loved. This stamp set has been around for a couple of years now, and all of the stamps in my set are very well loved. I don't know that this is a stamp set I would ever part with because I feel like snowmen are great not only for Christmas but for winter cards. So, and these ones are so cute. So I'm stamping in Memento ink and I'm going to stamp near the bottom of the tag. And the reason I stamp in Memento black is because I'm going to use the Stampin' blends to color in parts of the snowman. So first I'm going to stamp the greeting, and I'm using the greeting that says "Let It Snow," and I'm going to stamp that in Coastal Cabana. And there we go. And so if you don't have Stampin' blends, if you have our Stampin' Right markers, they will work also for the coloring. Because the snowman is sort of a smaller design, I'm going to use the fine tips of the Stampin' blends. And I'm using Real Red here. I'm just going to color in some of the stripes on his scarf and hat. Here we go. And I'm using the light of the marker, but you could use light or dark. And you can go back and do some shading. And then I'm going to use Pumpkin Pie for his nose. This little carrot nose. Here we go. And then would it be Christmas if we didn't use Wink of Stella on something? So Wink of Stella, if you haven't seen this, is a glitter brush pen. It adds just a little bit of bling to your stamped images. This Wink of Stella also is well loved. And so I'm just going to paint on some glitter where the snowflakes are, and just, you know, near the bottom where the snow would be falling, and then a bit on his buttons. And I'm going to add some to the tree too, because why not? Once you get started with Wink of Stella, it's hard to put it down. Just adds. I'm going to see if I can get the camera to pick up the little shimmer. I think you can see it near the bottom here. So it just adds that little bit of glimmer. And then the nice thing about this stamp set too is that it has the stamp that says, oh, you can't see it. It says to and from. If I can find it here. And then that way you don't even have to write that. So this stamp set is perfect for these tags. So when you use the Stampin' Blend markers, they will bleed a little bit, but that's okay because I'm going to put this stamp at the top here. So this tag is now all stamped. All it needs is some ribbon, and then it's ready to go. So I have a couple of options in terms of twine or ribbon that you could use on a tag. So I've pulled out these rolls of Baker's Twine. So this is the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. This is available in the annual catalog. You get 5 different colors of twine, so this is a great option for tags because you have all different colors. We also have linen thread, which is similar to the Baker's Twine. It's just a bit of a different texture. So this is a nice neutral. You could use this on all of your tags. And then the other option, which I'm going to use on this tag, this is the Playful Pets Trim Combo Pack. So you get a real red ribbon that has some white accents on it, and then the white and black Baker's Twine. So I am going to use the white and black Baker's Twine, and hopefully I can find the end on here. And just going to stick it through here. Get some paper snips. And depending on how long you like the strings, I like to just cut off a bit. And then I tie a knot in the Baker's Twine. Okay, so there we go. Super simple, all ready to go. So if you cut your piece of cardstock into 10 pieces, you can get 10 tags done fairly quickly doing it with the punch. Okay, so there we go. So then I'm also going to show you this one here. Actually, I've got the different top from the dies. So this is real red cardstock. I've run it through the machine using the dies, and maybe you'll be able to see, probably not, the stitch, put this down here, the stitched edging, no, it doesn't come through, but those dies, you can see the stitched edging on them. And so we are going to use a Perfectly Plaid stamp set. Actually got a bit of scrap paper here. So this is basic white. I'm going to stamp the plaid tree, which is a fun stamp. This is, it's got some distinctive image there. So you can see that it comes out plaid. I'm going to use garden green. So this is more traditional in that I'm using red and green. And with this tree stamp, I like to use my Pierce mat, just so that I make sure I get a nice clean image. And I'm going to stamp that near the bottom. There we go. Close up that ink. And then I'm going to use the tree punch to punch this out. So you just line it up. Give it a squeeze. And then from this scrap, I'm also going to stamp the Ho 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 in real red. So this is another stamp from that same Perfectly Plaid stamp set. I'm just going to stamp it near the bottom. And then for this, I'm just going to use my paper snips to trim it across. If you're not comfortable cutting that straight edge, you could always use a paper trimmer so that you get a nice straight edge. So we'll put that aside, and then all I'm going to do here is take my Stampin' Dimensionals, put a couple on the back, and this will give the tag a bit of an extra layer. Here we go. So this probably needs to go on here. There's another tag. The tags come together fairly easy. It's like making a little Christmas card for somebody. And then on the back, if you didn't have the to from stamp, you would just write it. You could add some Wink of Stella to the tree or the ho ho ho. Rhinestones would also work on here, but I like to keep the tags fairly simple because then that way I can get enough done for my gifts. So here I'm going to use the other ribbon from the Playful Pets trim pack, and this coordinates. The cardstock and the ribbon are both real red, which is handy. That's one of probably my top reason why I love using the Stampin' Up! Products, because you know the colors all coordinate and it takes the guesswork out of it, which for someone like me is very important. So there we go, another tag. So as you can see, the tags come together fairly easily. I am actually going to show you one more, which is a bit of a twist. So this one here, I wanted to show you, you can also use your designer series paper to create the tags. The only thing about the designer series paper is you have to realize you're going to have to write on the tag somewhere. So this one I've doubled up. So I'm just going to show you quickly. I have a strip of, if I can find it, that will be the key. Here it is. A strip of the Heartwarming Hugs designer series paper. This is from the mini July to December catalog. It's got a lot of traditional Christmas colors, which is why I picked it. And then I'm going to take one of the pre-cut 4-inch by 2-inch strips that I cut before. This needs to be cut. So again, I want this 4 inches. Oh, it is 2 inches. Yes, but it's not 4 inches. This right? Let's see. Yes. And I'm going to actually glue them together first. It may not be necessary, but I want to make sure that the tops punch out together. So I'm just using Stampin' Seal to glue them together. And then I'm going to feed both of them into the punch, and it will punch them both out at the same time. Okay, so we've got designer series paper on one side and white on the other. That way you can write your tag. And then the same idea, I've got a scrap of white. I'm actually going to switch up the stamps. So I'm going to pick a different tree from this stamp set. So there's 3 different trees here that you can choose. I'm going to use this outline one. This stamp here is to fill in the leaves on this tree. I'm just going to quickly grab another block. And for this one, I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz, which is one of the coordinating colors of this designer series paper. But the red and the garden green, which I've used, are also coordinating colors for this designer series paper. So I'm going to ink that up. Need some more ink. And then stamp. And then I'm going to use that same tree punch and punch this one out. And then I'm going to do the same, actually, yeah, I'm going to do the same ho ho ho, just to make things easy. Stamp that at the bottom. And then use my paper snips again to just cut that off. And then the same idea, I'm just going to take my Stampin' Dimensionals and add those on here. So this just adds a little bit of extra flair to the tag with that designer series paper. You could use any designer series paper that you have in your craft stash to create your tags. So there's another variation of that. And then just a couple others. I did this one. So instead of gluing them right on top of each other, I sort of separated it so it looked like a pair of tags. And I just used Stampin' Seal in behind to glue them together. And then because I use white cardstock, that gives me the ability to stamp right on the tag, which makes it super simple. And then I also did this one. I just wanted to show you that you could take strips of your designer series paper. This is Crumb Cake. This is another color of cardstock that I like to use a lot making Christmas tags because it's a nice light neutral color. And I've stamped that plaid tree and the ho 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 at the top. And then this is just another one of that Let It Snow tags, and I've just used Misty Moonlight instead of the Coastal Cabana. So either of those two combinations would work. So I hope that you are inspired to take elements from your craft stash and create custom holiday tags for all of your gifts that are under your tree. If you have any questions about any of the products that I've used tonight, please let me know. If you're watching on Facebook Live and you're watching on the replay, let me know by leaving a comment and letting me know you've watched the replay. If you are watching this on YouTube, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment below, and also remember to subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, I hope that you have a great evening, and I hope that you have a great week ahead. And take care. Bye now.